Gan's pick?
No, this is game 1, so the higher seeded player picks the parameters. So
So was SuperNinTaylor?
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
And the uncle's apparently going to go watch the moth tutorial today as Hitsuyan finds 20 rupees.
Yeah, it was a crazy gamble for both of them starting off at Link's house. Had nothing to do with the fact that, you know, it's the standard mode. So that's going to be the thing. We got to rescue the princess first before we move forward. Maybe we got an early map check, too. That looked like just 3 basic crystals.
Yeah, although the map check isn't really as important in an all dungeon because you're going to be hitting all the dungeons anyway.
Yeah, map checks are really interesting in all dungeon. Knowing the green pendant is interesting, and yep, there's our guaranteed sorted uncle. If that wouldn't have been there, I would have had some questions. We also have some other, you know, crystal dungeons that lead to interesting items. You have, you know, the 5 and 6 dungeons. That would get you 2 extra items from the big bomb. Then you also have the option of all 7 crystals, giving you options to open up Ganon's tower, which could lead to some progression items that you need to obtain later in the pendants. Or you could have to get all the pendants and get an item from the pedestal. So
the world is their oyster, pretty much.
I would say the knowledge is not as important as, you know, a regular Ganon goal opposed to all dungeons, but there's definitely some gaming to be made with the knowledge nonetheless.
Certainly, knowing where the green pendant is, and then one of the hint tiles in version 30 could give you a clue as to what item you can pull off of Sahasrara, and that could give either runner an advantage if they find that.
Exactly. Well, we're just kind of going through the motions of escape here, farming for little bombs too. SuperNinTaylor had a little bit cleaner first guard room. He's actually caught up, even though he's 4 seconds off, just because we're still working on syncing them up. Fun fact here, we see him kind of frantically killing more things than you might normally see because they are looking for bombs. The drop rates are actually halved because we are playing hard mode today, so it can be a little weird trying to get those bombs early, but when you get an early glove and escape, I mean, if you don't find bombs, you can kind of keep your peace of mind that you can check it at a later time.
Yeah, but even with that early glove, coming back to escape is a bit of a hard sell because you're never really back in this exact area. You can sort of come back here for Graveyard Legend Kings Cube later on when you have Dark World access, but still, and Hitsuyan managing to find his bomb, so he should be good.
Yeah, just getting a little lucky from the RNG there. So we know that bombs are in the prize pool for the green guards.
And there's our sync. So there are a couple different changes in hard mode as compared to regular mode. In hard mode, you'll only ever get the blue mail, you'll only ever get Tempered Sword, and you'll only ever get the Fire Shield. So overall, the player's defenses are a little bit reduced.
Yeah, and we also have drastically cut down on the amount of hearts that are in the pool. They can still get a good number of hearts, I would say enough to feel comfortable in the run, but they might not come as early, you know, as you see in your typical normal or easy runs.
Yep, and it's important to note that potions all have limited effect in hard mode. Magic refill is limited to 50%. Heart refill is limited to 7 hearts. Unless you're in Spike Cave, they'll have the full effect there.
That's always a fun little wrinkle right there, you know. If you want to get the maximum value of your potion, you happen to be on Death Mountain, just go pop in the Spike Cave. It works in there, but nowhere else. And there's another thing that's like that too. We got our silver arrows. They most certainly exist in this mode. You can most certainly use them, but only in Ganon's tower. So that's kind of an interesting wrinkle as well. So if you're used to, you know, shooting silver arrows at Helmasaur or at Vitreous, well, you're not going to see that today, unfortunately.
Nope, they will only work in Phase 4 against Ganon. Guy is correct. The Magic Cape will drain magic twice as fast, and all the Cane and Burnham will do is give you a sparkly barrier. It won't actually make you invulnerable.
That's always a really fun surprise when you know, panic, you activate Cape of Burna because something's about to hit you and it still kills you anyways. I think quite a few of us have fell victim to that going through hard mode. So.
And then you're left reevaluating your life for a little bit until you remember you picked hard mode.
Ooh, okay. SuperNinTaylor wanted to take a little bit of a detour there. Kill a couple extra rats trying to farm some extra bombs or...
Literally rewarded for it. So
yeah,
that's going to set him up well for Kakariko.
Yeah, that was actually kind of a nice little time save by him. Having 2 bombs extra will allow you to get the item in the Kakariko well, will let you get the item in the back of Blind's hut, and then he won't be able to do Chicken Hut, which, I don't know if it's too soon to talk about that with him or not, but he can buy bombs and then go back and hopefully check Chicken Hut. Little story about the runner. SuperNinTaylor is actually 0-2 in groups right now. He lost his last race because he forgot a location that had a critical item, and that location was Chicken Hut, but I don't think he'll make that same mistake twice.
That's going to be a mistake that you don't make more than once.
Yeah, forgetting a location like that, it's usually about a year before you're ever going to do that again. Hey, there's a lamp hanging out in the bag of Sanctuary. That's pretty nice to have early.
Yep. You do get a free light cone in standard mode, which is why we saw runners with the light cone in the sewers, but nowhere else will you get that, so it's vitally important that they do have that lamp.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we took away that free light cone? I guarantee you nobody would ever play standard ever again.
That would be terrifying.
Alright, looks like our tier 2 pack is just going to be 5 arrows. What's our bush crab holding today? Ooh, bombs!
Oh!
Alright.
Except the bomb got stuck behind the lumberjack, so...
Well, we got one out of it. And then the little tree cutter guy took the other one. Fair enough.
Let's see if NinTaylor has better luck with that. Oh! The bomb both medallions on the lumberjack ledge. So, boots may be required?
Yeah,
probably required.
Boots, you know, definitely, because if we need that medallion, you're most certainly going to need boots to do it as well, and then, you know, finishing Desert Palace has a good chance of requiring the boots also. This bush crab's being a lot nicer to Hitsu over here.
Yep.
$20 up there, electing to skip it.
SuperNinTaylor going for it. Oh, well, it didn't really matter anyway because there's 300 in Thieves' Hideout.
Yeah, that's just some Galaxy brain play right there, knowing that, you know, why do I need this 20 when the next one I pick up's gonna be 300? I'll take the frames, please. Have a nice day. There won't be any money concerns for them going into Kakariko. They're pretty much set up anyways. All you really need is 50 rupees from any of the chests going in, and then you can collect the other 50 from the pots and stuff. That will give you the cool 100 that you need to check the bottle vendor.
Which is another of those locations that you don't really want to pass up, because it's right there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's more often than not, that's a location that you get to check very early, but those one times you don't get to check it early, well, if you don't check it then, you might not check it ever, just because muscle memory can kind of get the better of you.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay, so...
Early night though. That's our Dark World access, but without Moon Pearl, it's a hard sell.
Yeah, you can't really do too much in the Dark World without Moon Pearl, except, you know, literally get yourself trapped between, you know, a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately, bunnies, with their tiny little paw hands, they can't lift up those bushes or anything, so can't really do much in the Dark World without them.
Nope.
However, though, you know, we can go ahead and just grab another sword and head right back to the castle and do Aghanim. It might be a little early to make that play, especially without the Moon Pearl, but, you know, it's a possibility.
Moon Pearl could always be sitting on the pyramid ledge.
Ooh, hey, there's a bow in the back of Escape.
That's an important item.
Yeah, wow, bow and lamp early. I mean, you know, I hate to have a bias of where the seat's pointing you right now, but Eastern Palace looks like a pretty hot place to go.
Yeah, I mean, the lamp and the bow, you can logically complete it, so why not?
Why not exactly? I would be very surprised if we don't just see both of them head that way after Kakariko, but doing South Shore is not a bad play either. I mean, we have the items to complete Eastern, but Eastern Palace could be a little bit quicker. Say you get like, the hammer, the Moon Pearl, and the mirror, then you can combo them both together, but it doesn't seem like a bad place right now. We saw a very questionable bomb there in the chicken hut by SuperNinTaylor. I have no idea what he's referring to.
What could he possibly be bombing the chest for, I wonder? Pretty standard routing for Hitsuyan at the moment. I imagine after this he's gonna save and go back to Link's house and go down to the South Shore.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still pretty hot on them making that play to Eastern. And Hitsuyan, just a slight lead here, making it down here just a little bit earlier with the less farming that he did. Oh, but he's, well, never mind. So they're probably going to want that quick.
I mean, it's right there, and you have a chance of eating it. So if you pass it up, you're going to regret it.
Yeah, no point in skipping that right now. That can be useful for a couple of other things, too. I mean, almost seems really... I mean, it's going to be very highly likely that they have to kill Aga 1 this seed, so I imagine they'll probably do that. That Quake can be really nice for killing the ball and chain guards really early, because you can turn them into turnips or whatever those monsters are, then they die in one hit.
Yep. You can also get rid of dead rocks if they annoy you particularly much.
That is one of my favorite utilizations of Quake. You're not wrong there. Yep, and we're on our way to Eastern Palace here.
Wow, looks like I lied. Hitsuyan is not taking the South Shore bait. But it looks like SuperNinTaylor is, so we're getting our first major point of divergence.
Yeah, this is interesting. Man, depending on what either of them finds, I think SuperNinTaylor would be pretty hard-pressed to find anything here that's not going to lead him to Eastern Palace next, but if Hitsuyan finds a Moon Pearl or something, he could have a decision to make.
Yeah, because then it's a... Oh!
Alright, so we got the Moon Pearl, we have the Master Sword, we also have the book. That's really interesting.
That was it's the hospital keeping the goods back there.
Oh boy. Man. Sorry, I'm just going over some really creative routing ideas that you have. Oh man, Hitsuyan could legitimately just finish Eastern, and then go hit up Aga 1. That seems really crazy to do. Trust me, it is. But I really like it. I think that would be an interesting route.
It's a really bold execution, bold routing, but it could pay off. He wouldn't really be able to do anything in Palace of Darkness, but he could get just about anywhere on the Dark Road he wanted to go.
I mean, he could get literally everything in Palace of Darkness except for kill Helmasaur. With that bow in hand, that'd be pretty nice, but... a flute over in Mini Moldorm Cave, though, that's pretty awesome as well.
Mobility or routing? That's an interesting decision to call who's ahead right now. Especially because SuperNinTaylor is probably going to close the loop and head to Eastern. Though then the question is, why did he start at Sank?
He wants to turn in his flute here. Go ahead and get that activated.
Oh yeah, then he can just flute over to Eastern. You're right.
He's gonna have to come over here anyways. Yeah, it's an alright play. I think, in hindsight, maybe if you knew that Eastern was gonna be your next play, you might hold off turning in your flute, just in case, you might find any other items in Eastern Palace that you could kinda, help you out over here in Kakariko. And, I might just be saying that because I have the hindsight of knowing that the Mitts and the Moon Pearl were over there, so...
Yeah.
when he walked all the way over here, he would have been able to go ahead and hit up the Dark World, opposed to having to make the separate flute back. And the Cane of Samaria.
And the Cane of Samaria is going to be here too.
So yeah, that's a new thing to V30. We've got hint tiles. They like to tell you, I guess, the the item that's literally in the next room.
They can tell you the item in the next room. They can tell you some really isolated locations, like they can tell you what's in the east side of, or the west side of Swamp. They can tell you what's firelocked in Mire and Mimic Cave. So they can rule out quite a bit of bad routing.
Yeah, they can definitely allow you to, you know, cut some corners with perfectly safe conscience, because you already know what the items are there. They do, you know, have some items, say, on what's left side Swamp, the firelock stuff in Mire, Big Chest, quite a few things. Some are a little bit more, you know, detailed than others. Fun thing, too, though, hard mode actually will reduce the amount of valuable hints that you can find. You have the hints that are in white text. Those are actually perceived to be critical information. Then you have some that are like in green text. They legitimately don't mean anything at all. They're just blabberish.
Yep, like you can get told to aim for the eyes of Goma in a game where Goma doesn't even exist. What a time to be alive.
I mean, we can't say that's not a valuable hint, though. There's so many monsters with, you know, oodles and oodles of eyes in this game, and usually aiming for them is a pretty good strategy.
You're not wrong.
And I can't read this Japanese text anyway, so how do we know it's not Goma? It's not Goma, fortunately.
It's not Goma.
I don't know, those little Techites in Death Mountain kind of look like it.
They are kind of spider-like.
To add what I was saying about prolonging the flute, though, Hitsuyan also found a bottle here in Eastern Palace. So if he makes the South Shore play next, which seems pretty highly likely, he'll probably go turn in his flute, and then he also gets to combo that with turning in the bottle, and then has the option to just hopping into the Dark World right then and there.
Yeah. So Hitsuyan's routing might be a little bit better here than SuperNinTaylor's, but if it is, it's not by incredibly much. But SuperNinTaylor actually might combo Sal Hospital's Hut coming out of Eastern since he didn't hit it on the way in.
Yeah, that's exactly what he'll do. It makes sense. You could even save and quit in the back there, save yourself a couple of screen transitions. I have no idea if it's faster or not, but it's different, it's new. You don't really see it that often, so why not? And then
it looks like Hitsuyan is going to check the Swamp Palace dam. The dam. Why did I say Swamp Palace?
Yeah, maybe you're just opposed to, you know, swearing on commentary.
Ah, you're right.
Terrible joke. I do apologize. So, yeah, we'll probably see him hit up Mini Moldrum Cave after this. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a save and quit as well. So go ahead and turn in that flute. It's a lot faster to flute over to the Ice Rod Cave area than to take the long bootless walk over. I'm taking a couple extra hits there to get his bottle, but
bullied a little bit.
Finally got it. Community heart there, so don't have to be too nervous for the Igors going into the next room.
They're not going to pose too much for robbing the runners of this caliber.
Nah. Really surprised to see how much money that they've found early in this seed. Actually, I take that back. I don't actually think that the 300 drops are nerfed in hard mode. I do think that they're the same. So just ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Chat coming up with a good point. 6 hearts this early in hard mode is not bad. You actually do like seeing it since you're only restricted to blue mail.
Yeah, only gonna get blue mail, so not gonna get that sweet awesome, like, quadruple damage reduction that red mail is going to give us. Fun fact, though, this is something I knew. There's actually still 4 swords, and the 2 armor upgrades and the 3 shields in the pool, but you're only allowed to pick up 2 of them. So once, you know, it gets to that final tier of its progressive state, it actually just turns into a different item.
Yeah, I believe it goes back to the green rupee with the 20 on it, like you see in Swordless.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it turns into, but that was really a very peculiar thing to note, because that can really, I guess, change your opinion of the logic or how, you know, things appear. And it seems like it makes it a little bit more likely that you won't be looking for your last sword for as long, because, I mean, they all still exist. It's just, you know, you're only going to be able to get 2 of them opposed to 4. Yeah. And just SuperNinTaylor, not forgetting that Saha exists. He was just doing it afterwards, which is actually smart routing.
That would be terrible if he actually managed to forget.
Hitsuyan's taking a early trip up here to rescue the old man, then I guess he can check a hint over in Spectacle Rock Cave, but without the hookshot or the mirror, that's really about the max he'll be able to do.
It's an interesting routing choice to go up to Death Mountain with not having the ability to do much.
Yeah, you know, again, might be able to save a trip if you, you know, came up here, say, with hookshot or mirror, but having the save and quit point's nice. Also, having that cape, that unlocks Bumper Cave, so...
Following SuperNinTaylor in the Desert Palace.
I would say this is a little bit of an aggressive play by SuperNinTaylor. He might run into a bootlock desert, requiring him to make another trip. Small key there is a good sign, though.
Yeah, you gotta make these aggressive plays, though, when you're in a group stage like this. Only the top 2 members of each group will actually advance to the brackets, so...
And by the way, I saw 2 pendants in the Dark World, so I think the original information I gave might have been a little off. Unless we just have, you know, the super rare...
Oh, that's not a good look. That blue rupee in the chest here means that the big key is likely sitting on that torch, meaning the Desert Palace is bootlocked.
Yeah, and that's also a pendant in Desert Palace, too, so... Man, who knows? Maybe we could see the boots in Ganon's Tower. That would just be awful. I would hate to wish that upon these runners.
That would be awful and terrible.
So yeah, Desert was a pendant too. In hindsight, listening to those trumpets and stuff, that really tells you that I had made a mistake saying I saw 3 crystals. And I think, yeah, Thieves was the other pendant, and Pod was green. Our tracker is nailing it right now, without my help.
This is not Key Sanity, AD Deerheart. And SuperNinTaylor making the play up to Death Mountain as well. Getting dead rocked a little bit. Not happy about it.
Well, you've already told us the appropriate strategy to do in this situation. Get out your Quake Medallion and get your vengeance out on that dead rock for blocking you. Taylor's going to go ahead and make the climb up, though, so he'll be able to see what's in Spectacle Rock, and he will also have that hint available to him as well. Hitsuyan's over here in the back of Skull Woods, getting a map, but at least getting it the quick way with that Canis Maria to do that push block there. And the Blue Cane's hanging out on top of Spectacle Rock, and SuperNinTaylor trying to do it the traditional way, remembering that, you know what, hey, this is V30, we got the new Maiden now, you just YOLO Spectacle Rock. Who cares what the item is? We're here for the sweet hint.
Yep. And the item's really just a bonus at this point.
Well, that's a pretty light Christmas bonus that they're going to be getting for that, but we'll get the hint, and the 10th enemy has every bomb. Notice that was the funky green text. That's not true. It's just meant to throw you off. Don't believe it. It's a lie.
And also, given the reduced drop rate, the 10th enemy probably doesn't have the bomb.
You're probably right on that one. Hitsuyan went for the routing of Skull Woods, checking that back chest, and he went ahead and checked the chest to the right of the big chest, hoping for a small key so he wouldn't have to do this drop down. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him. Only getting one item out of here so far, so I think we're still going to have one more item, Fire Rod, locked in the bag.
Yeah, I guess if you treat the front half of Skull Woods like a regular cave, a double dip isn't as problematic as it might appear.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. It's definitely a very time-consuming check. A lot of people will save a lot of time just opting not to do it, but man, so many people just elect to always check that every race regardless, and it's kind of a weird feeling to think that you might be leaving a piece of progression behind that's going to be a very popular check amongst other runners, so it's kind of like, well, if everybody else does it, I'm kind of, it's forcing my hand to do it also.
Yeah, and there's always that one time when it's going to have something vital there.
Well, it's the only time that happens is the one time you skip it. If you don't believe me, ask SuperNinTaylor once he finishes. We'll see if Hitsuyan wants to make a full play on the Thieves' Town. Without the hammer, you're always going to run the risk that, there might be something critical in that big chest, and if there is, when are you ever going to go back and check it? It's a really tough sell to do.
Yeah, going deep into Thieves' Town just to pick up the big chest. I don't think I would do it.
And we're still only on Greenmail. He only has 3 hearts. Almost every enemy in here is going to do 1 heart of damage. The red Zaziks, the green crickets, all that, those are going to do 2 hearts of damage, so you can't be taking too many of those.
Everything in this dungeon will kill you very cheerfully.
But, the good news of having low health like this, or I guess bad news, depending on you look at it, doesn't take too many heart refills to go ahead and get your sword beams back. They can actually save a little time on the blind fight. Looks like both of them are going to be making that play. Okay. Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was going to say that low health count makes death warping a little bit easier, too.
Yeah, exactly. And he was electing not to go ahead and get hit there, so I think he's going to be seeing this dungeon through.
No doubt these runners have practiced the blind fight, so it's gonna be on script from beginning to end. But it's a bit of a weird gamble because there's always the possibility that something is in the big chest.
Yeah, absolutely. But boy, does your brain feel so big when you go back there and then you find the hammer and the maiden chest, and it can absolutely be in there, and you're like, I knew it. I personally have a little jaded perspective. Once you get into a seed like this, you have the early mids, Moon, Pearl, you're still looking for that hammer. It's always in pod. Some arrows are in the castle. Well,
no, thanks, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid hint right there. Getting a hint to a sequence that you were forced to do in the, very first seconds of the game, but... I haven't seen anything important here so far. Hitsuyan did a fantastic job making it all the way up there without bleeding off a little bit of his health. You're really not going to have the option to refill your health until you get to the lower floors. You're going to have, a couple pots there with hearts and stuff in it. But you don't want to be taking too many extra hits on the way up because, some bad cricket RNG or something like that could end up killing you, and it's a long walk all the way back up.
Yeah, those crickets mean business.
Oh. Even that Zazek looked a little close to me, but, I mean, maybe I'm just a little too nervous for him. We did get that early extra small key, so that means that it's not going to be the small key in the big chest. So again, you know, they still have to be thinking, man, there really might be something in there. And in fact, there is 100% an item in there looking at the fact that they have the map and the compass right now. And Hitsuyan's going to have a tough time catching this fairy in hard mode. It actually doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and Hitsuyan probably just doesn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not give them the, wow. Oh my god.
That bee meant business.
It looked like he was trying to avoid that too, but at least that bee managed to stick that Zazek into permanent iframes as it looked like it was attached to Link's torso there, as if he was riding it.
That's... I mean, I guess Link wants to do that.
So yeah, what you were saying, this is a scripted fight as long as you stay on it with any weapon, you know, any sword or hammer. It's going to take 9 hits to go ahead and bring down Blind here. If you do it the same way every time, he kind of has the same pattern, so you can pretty much hedge your bets on to avoid the hits. Got a little off script there, but only took 2 fireballs, so not a big deal.
Yep. So Hitsuyan and SuperNinTaylor will both be leaving an item down there in the big chest. It's going to be a question of whether they remember to come back for it, and if so, when.
A lot of people in chat are, you know, thinking this is a questionable move. It's actually the right move, simply because both of them did it, so you're not going to be punished either way for it. And if there's nothing in that big chest, then, well, hey, man, that's time saved. They'll never have to go back and do it. Now, a really interesting play here. At what point are you looking at Pod having the hammer, or are you looking at, you know, maybe I should check the Smith sequence or the purple chest? You have the flute, you have the mitts, but you can't do both because Kiki is a follower, so if you have the Smith and paired with Kiki, unfortunately Link, he can only have one person following him at a time.
Yeah, Link doesn't go for 2 followers like that. But it's an interesting routing question. In terms of item density, Pod might appear to be the play, but it's a longer route to get into. So for sheer rapidity, the Smith sequence might be the answer.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
But without the mirror, it becomes a little bit harder to route because then you have to save and quit if the blacksmith will either follow you through save and quit in this mode, which I don't remember.
They will follow you through a save and quit in this mode. They actually follow you through a save and quit in the vanilla game as well. It was kind of changed to mimic the you know, same style of it. I guess if they don't have the flippers though, they might have a tough time getting into Pod. The Aga 1 play to go into Pod actually looks really strong here right now.
Oh, that's a terrible play, but you're right.
I mean, it's an all dungeon seed, so you have to do Aga 1 anyways. Of course, you might want to, you know, wait until you can just do it at the end, combo them both together. Hey, there's silvers hanging out there in Hype Cave. Won't be able to use those for probably about an hour and a half, but, you know, still good to have nonetheless.
Still pretty hype, I'd say.
So what's Hitsuyan gonna do next? Okay, he's gonna check out Ice Rod Cave because he hasn't done that. Fair play, fair play.
Yep. And with the Moon Pearl in hand, he can actually fake Flipper up to Zora's domain and check the waterfall, along with Zora. So, not a bad play.
Yeah, I think that would be a great play at the situation. For all you know, the logic has you, maybe wanting to do Aga 1 to get flippers, and then you get those flippers, you walk all the way from Village of Outcast to swim over to Pod to open the door. Or, well, never mind, but that doesn't make sense actually now that I think about it. But hey, you might be able to beat the sequence by getting the hammer in the waterfall early. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say that will be an effective break if Hammer manages to be up in the waterfall wishing. And as you were saying, Hitsuyan about to get the very disappointing bad news that Treasure Palace is bootlocked.
Yeah. Not a bad play. It was information nonetheless. He might even go ahead and check this hint over here. That was something we didn't see from SuperNinTaylor. Though it's kind of a hard sell too, because you get this small key here and you're like, I don't really want to walk all the way back, whatever. I'll just go ahead and hedge my bet that the big key's on the right side, and then when it's not there, you're like, well, now I definitely don't want to walk back for the hint, so it makes a lot of sense skipping it.
And then you cry for a little bit, and then you don't go check Kagina.
Maybe one of those two things you stated might be true. I'm not gonna say which one though.
Oh, Hitsuya not hitting the saving quit. I wonder what his play is.
I guess he's gonna go check Agita.
That looks like the play.
And SuperNinTaylor did indeed grab that frog, so it'll be turning him into his rightful home. We'll have an item over there as well. The hammer would be a huge, huge item. It would also be really funny too, because it's like, hey, you want to go back into Thieves Town? And you're like, not really.
And then watch there be like a vital item in there.
Well, if that's the case, it's going to be equally as punishing for both of them. So that's all you can ask for in that situation. That, if I skip it, hopefully my opponent does too. Ooh, hey, there's a bottle over there.
Not a terrible item to get.
No, having, red goo, that's nice. With their heart count, it's a full health refill, even in hard mode. So Hitsuyan's going to be coming up here to check out solely Spectacle Rock, because he did not do it the first time he turned in the old man.
Yep, gonna be very disappointed. But he did catch the Cane of Berna, so he's not gonna have to see it again.
Yeah, Cane of Berna at this point, I mean, can be logically tied to a few things, but you got 2 bottles, enough hearts, you can kind of damage boost your way through Spike Cave if you wanted to, but you're going to need a hammer to get in. SuperNinTaylor's really running out of options on what he can do next here.
Yeah, it's looking. Oh man, I don't like it, but it's looking at Agina or Aghanim to Palace of Darkness might be the play here.
Yeah, I was talking about it early. I thought it was a really strong play, especially not having the hammer early. You knew you had to do it anyways, and then just having the option to get to which point of the Dark World that you want at any given time. I mean, it just kind of opens up your freedom for routing possibilities, so works out a little better for you. Did Hitsuyan just come over here just to save and quit? I think he had a change of heart here, coming to Link's house. I think he actually might be doing the Aga play now.
Looks like it. Especially in an all dungeon seed, having the Hyrule Castle Warp is probably a stronger play than you might otherwise think.
Yes, exactly. All dungeons is definitely the kicker here. That should be what is changing your your original routing mentality of like, I will never do Aga because it's just going to be a 5-minute time loss. But in all dungeons you have to do it anyways, so try to find ways to use it to your advantage. But, you know, if the hammer's here in the purple chest, then, you know, it could prove us all wrong. It is just, unfortunately, a blue piece. And then he'll be walking over to Agina Cave to get his red potion.
That would have been super cool if Hammer had been in there.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but again, I'm telling you, this hammer can only be in one spot. It's always in pod, man, I'm telling you.
It's always in pod unless it's in Misery Mire.
Misery Mire is fine. You can go ahead and put the hammer there. 'Cause if you give me access to Misery Mire, well, then there's a 50% chance I have the boots, and what's to complain about then? Hitsuyan getting a little low on hearts here. You know, it is about as close to a vanilla situation of an Agatar you could ask for in terms of NMG. The only thing he really is missing is, I guess, the boots to make it like almost perfectly vanilla. I feel like even the heart count is accurate as well. What are the odds?
Oh, that's a bad place to take a fall.
And that was one spot where you're kind of like, I wish I had the boots so I could have just dashed through him to get into the door. SuperNinTaylor is taking the trip all the way up to Zora here.
I don't know about this play. I think in his position with the items I have available, I would have fake flippered.
Yeah, flute to fake flipper to do Waterfall Cave in tandem with Zora. I mean, first off, you're getting an extra 2 chests to go ahead and clear that piece of mind, but also you get that cool water walk situation. I mean, it actually makes you move faster in the deep water than you normally walk, but you don't have to take the long snaking path all the way to, you know, get robbed by the Zora fish here. You can just kind of, you know, be done with it.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting play.
I would personally say it's a weak play, but it does have the advantage of keeping you in logic.
Yeah, I mean, there is that, but I feel like if you were gonna do a chest, you might as well check a couple on the way and then, you know, also do it faster.
Yeah. So it's
So that's a little interesting by me. That almost makes it. Again, I think we're still in a little bit of a non-all dungeons mentality here. I think Aga 1 was really the better play, but he has reached that conclusion. I don't think he has too many options left. And yeah, so we can have a number between 0 and 15 if you guys want to go ahead and guess the blue balls. I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler. This first one's not going to be a blue ball, but any of these next 3 will be. I'm going to say there's going to be 3 today.
And I'll give you another spoiler. The 5th is going to be neither a blue ball nor a reflectable shot.
What is it going to be?
It's going to be lightning.
Oh, man. I didn't realize we had Emperor Palpatine for phase 3 here. I don't know if we've seen 1 or 0, because I kind of got a little distracted by something else. That looked like maybe a 0, so it's about as good as you could ask for.
Looked really good, yeah.
Oh, will this hammer be on the pyramid? Is that what we're looking for? That is a single arrow. That is not what we're looking for at all.
Not even remotely.
And doesn't necessarily have to be the hammer that we find here. The mirror would open up Hera for us. We could find the hook shot that opens up East Death Mountain. Fire Rod could give us that last item in Skull Woods. The boots could allow us to finish Desert.
But anything but the hammer would require a double dip in the pod, and who really wants to do that?
It seems like it's so tough to get away with that non-double dip pod these days. So as things have kind of converged for us here, SuperNinTaylor just appears to be about a minute and a half behind here, maybe 2 minutes. He has done a few extra checks than Hitsuyan. He did the purple chest aura, and the smith Hitsuyan just said, you know what, I could probably find a better time for those, and he's not wrong. But we'll go ahead and see what is here early for us in pod. Small key to no surprise. 4 of these 6 chests have to have a small key.
Oh, without the mirror, this routing in pod is just brutal.
It can get a little ugly sometimes. Really what makes it the worst here is if he doesn't get a small key from this second chest. If you get a small key from this second chest, it's not so bad. You grab it, then you have the option to go to the vanilla big key chest, then you hop down, check the pit chest, and then you mirror, and you're right there. Kind of did everything in somewhat of a seamless operation. But when you get the not small key here, that kind of throws in a wrinkle in for you, and you got to make a decision. Yeah, now in this case, and you know how pod key logic works now, Slade, is you're kind of hoping that in one of these 2 chests you don't find a small key. That way you know with, wow.
Ooh,
okay, the boots are in Paradox
Wow,
Cave.
that's really deep to find him.
Well, I mean, it is, I guess, 1 or 2 items away from us.
Yeah,
Kind of makes you think that the hookshot's going to be the next thing we find here, even though the boots don't really unlock too much for us right now.
They unlock Desert Palace.
Yeah, I think it was 1 item in Desert, and then you get 2 items from the Bonk Rocks there.
Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb. But you do need a fire source to be able to complete Desert Palace, which actually they do have the lamp. I'm blind.
That's alright. Tell us a funny pun then.
Ooh, on the spot. Oh,
You said you were blind.
I asked for that.
Yeah, you should have just went with the, you know, just say sausages are the worst, because that was the pun that Blind gave us. Go with the cop out there.
Being crushed by large objects is depressing.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, joined by Blind on commentary. Looks like Hitsuyan found his at least 4 guaranteed small keys. It could be 5 too. I suppose there's probably a way to tell with how many keys you get back here. It hurts your brain when you're routing pod unless you really know what you're doing. No surprise, more small keys. 20 bucks. Well, I think we got to find something back here. SuperNinTaylor did give us the luxury of checking Catfish for his heart container first. That's not what we're going to be looking for, so there's something here in pod. It's just when are we going to find it?
Yeah. I mean, it could be this chest. And it's not this chest.
It could not be that chest.
It could also not be that chest. That's also an option.
Looks like there's going to be a non-small key in the vanilla big key chest with the keys that they have. There's a lovely map.
That's not progression.
Yeah, we're looking at a mighty fine chance of getting that there vanilla hammer. Because there's got to be something in this big chest, or the vanilla big key chest, or we might need to go to the drawing board of what we collectively missed. Oh man, that's the worst.
Oh, jeez, what? Okay.
So there is an item in the vanilla big key chest, and it seems very highly to be progression. Because he didn't get small key in that one chest in the big key, that's kind of like a, you know, you have to hedge that, you know, you're just getting a key for a key there. But unfortunately, it is progression, so he had to death warp there and come back.
Yep. And so now we're all gonna see what it is together.
My vote's the hookshot.
Hookshot, fire rod, ooh. Very good questions.
Mirror is a really good one. I kind of like Mirror too.
Mirror would give us access to Paradox Cave. Eventually. Not immediately, unfortunately. Hey!
There's our hook shot.
Here's a Galaxy Brain play.
Well, you know, if you weren't immediately going to go to East Death Mountain, because, you know, that's all the hookshot unlocked, Pod was also nice enough just to make sure you were super incentivized by giving you the hint that the boots were in the Paradox Cave, so to no surprise, Hitsuyan is going to be heading that way. It's really interesting. Is that the theme of this run with the hints? They basically just tell you the next item you're going to find?
It certainly seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, they did it in Eastern, they did it in Pod here. Alright, everybody, if we're going to play the Boots and Paradox Cave guessing game, you can pick a number 1 through 7, and the boots are going to be in here. Oh, I'm going to go with chest number 2.
Your streak ended. I'm going to go with 4.
you waited till he opened 2, that's not fair. Alright, what's going to be in chest number 3 here? Ooh, just a piece of heart. Chest number 4, blue piece. Sorry, you're wrong too. Chest number 5 is a bottle. Always in the last place you look, we've got our boots. Chest number 7.
Fear gas and digital lesion. You win.
That's really peculiar. So we have Spiral Cave open up to us. We have 1 item in Desert Palace and 2 items in the Bonk Rocks, and now we can also get our Bombos medallion. How interesting.
And this is another cave that you never want to skip, and with the boots, it's just much better.
SuperNinTaylor will actually be able to save a little bit of time here with the bomb chump, knowing that, you know, he also did not check the vanilla big key chest just because the key layout was kind of gross for it. But since it gave him the big key early, you know, instead of walking in this and dead-ending himself, it's kind of like he's walking out of the dark maze. And then whenever, you know, he realizes he has to go back and check that chest, he's going to be in a better spot just to, you know, leave the dungeon opposed to using 35 bombs to death warp here.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I forgot about these chests over here, so we're going to do Dark Death Mountain too.
35, I don't think that math is right, but I can't put my finger on it.
I'm sorry, what did I miss?
You said 35 bombs. I don't know if that math is...
Oh, no, I had my abacus out. I know that I was correct on that. Hey, there's Temper Sword and Super Bunny.
There you go. And that will be the final sword available to our runners in the seed. I bet Hitsuyan's happy to have it.
Yeah, found it at a pretty good time. Hey, we can go ahead and check out and see if we do need that Bombos. Guess what? We do.
Fortunately, we got what we need for it.
So that's pretty convenient. You can just kind of check your Bonk Rocks and go ahead and get your Bombos on the way over there. Maybe the nicest thing, the seed's done for them all, you know, the whole time. Well, I guess giving them 3 swords is pretty nice, too. You didn't have to do that. And there's our...
There's the gamer. Now, what do you do now, Hitsuyan? Do you go back? Do you dive right back in the pod?
I mean... If anything, you can do that. If you really wanted to get the most value out of going back to pod, you might want to wait until you have the mirror, because the pod's the green pendant, so you can go ahead and finish pod mirror, turn in the green pendant. However, you know, if Helmasaur has the green pendant, well, that's going to be pretty crappy for you also. Oddly enough, too, our pedestal has now been placed into logic, so there could be a key item on that as well.
Yep. And if we're gonna talk about key items available on the pedestal, I'm going to throw my vote for. Let's see.
It can be
Oh,
literally
yeah, it could
anything
be
we don't
anything.
have. Anything that we don't have that we're gonna need, it can be there.
It could be fire rod. It could be mirror. It could be flippers. The only thing it can't be is bombos because we know where that is.
That is 100% correct. But I'd like to say that's a pretty aggressive play. You gotta think, man, what did that hammer exactly give us? That did give us the option to finish pod, which is green pendant. We got the boots now. That allows us to finish desert. Hammer gives you that one chest in Thieves Town we don't have yet.
Yeah, does give us that horrible option to go deep back into Thieves Town and get that big chest. Who's gonna take that bait?
We'll have to see what opens up to him. A really fun play here would be to sequence break into Ice Palace. Seems kind of crazy, but we know with that Bombos, that gives you access into Turtle Rock, and boy, wouldn't it be kind of silly to get your flippers, you know, in the first chest of Turtle Rock, but then you got to go all the way back to Ice Palace to get, you know, your Fire Rod and your Ice Rod. It could happen. It's a possibility.
It's a bit of an ugly possibility, but this has been a bit of an ugly seed so far.
Yeah, late hammer, it did kind of force a slow Aga, but...
Well, with flippers on a floating island, that removes an item from the ped, but puts mirror maybe more likely to be on ped.
That was the flippers? Wow. I must have missed that. That's
Yeah,
pretty important.
Chad is telling us that flippers on the floating island.
Sorry about that. That's what I get for watching the race with my eyes closed. Flippers on the floating island. That is very interesting. Wow. That almost makes you think that the mirror has to be somewhere pretty close by. And surely that would be something, you know, you want to get a little sooner than later. Oh,
God.
man.
Oh, that is an ugly play. Ravis, I love it. Mirror and Hera requiring the hookshot and the hammer to loop all the way around Death Mountain to get to it.
It's not too convenient, but it's really not a bad play. I mean, again, we are in an all dungeon seed, so, you know, you would like to go mode as many dungeons as you can, but, man, it's like, do you sequence break and finish a clearable dungeon, or do you, you know, stay in logic and double dip all day? You know, it is possible to get ahead of the cycle. It also is possible to end up clearing way too much.
Yep, that's one of the dangers of jumping outside of logic in Randomizer. You kind of have to keep following it, but if you jump out of logic and then avoid the continuance, you can really mess yourself up.
Yeah, you really just kind of have to, you know, hedge your bets, or, I mean, I guess, just not care. And SuperNinTaylor's going to go ahead and elect to do something that Hitsuyan did not do. He'll make his rounds all the way over here to Spike Cave, but his health looks a little dicey to be doing that. But I think with the red potion and the cape in hand, he should be fine.
We're going to see in just a minute, huh? Ooh, he don't quite know what to do. There we go.
Using the potion, saving the magic. I like that play. And Hitsuyan, gonna go ahead and put these boots to good use as well. Gonna be getting his third pendant. It's kind of like the nightmare situation of, you know, what you would be doing if this was just a regular, you know, Ganon seed and not all dungeons. Like, dang, I got these items and all they're unlocking for me as pendants? Wow, the seed's terrible. But hey, you know what? You had to do them anyways. It's not a big deal.
Yep. So let's see how Hitsuyan gets on with the Lanmolas this seed.
Oh, good thing, you know, we both skipped that hint. That was pretty critical information there.
I mean, it's always important to get some, you know, reassurance.
Well, SuperNinTaylor does appear to be just you know, inches behind Hitsuyan as they are really stuck on this linear trail that it's been giving them. If it stays like this, it's really not giving SuperNinTaylor too many great opportunities to catch back up. You know, we still have quite a bit of seed left to play, and we have those really silly items, you know, that we're still missing. The mirror, which leads to the flippers. You got, you know, the ice rod that could be anywhere. Turtle Rock.
Yeah, what can SuperNinTaylor do to jump ahead after finishing Desert Palace here?
It's really not as much as what SuperNinTaylor can do. For the most part, they really have been playing at the same pace. Their routes, the divergence there is kind of really the time gap that you're seeing. Whenever Hitsuyan has to double back on some of the checks that SuperNinTaylor has done, that's really when the race is going to even out, I think. But if Hitsuyan never does that, then it seems like they both have been playing at a very similar, you know, execution pace. I wouldn't imagine to see it change that much. But there's still a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah. A lot of items we have no idea where they are.
Good old blue rupee on Landmo. That'll be our third pendant. Simultaneous Landmo kills here. Not often you get to see both runners holding up the exact same pendant. Question in chat, why are they refusing to use silvers? Well, this is hard mode, and unfortunately we wanted to make it really hard. So, the silvers, they can only be activated in the Ganon room. Can't use them anywhere else. SuperNinTaylor using some extra hints there that were put into the game, checking that sign, told him Kakariko Village is to the south. So in case he forgot, he knows now.
Absolutely critical information. I think we're actually going to get a blind ped pull here.
I think
That
so
would be
too.
a
He's on his
strong
way. Hey, it could be the fire rod, could be the mirror. Could be a big 20.
Actually, this is something that SuperNinTaylor might be able to do to pull ahead. What if the mirror is on pedestal, linking to flippers, to something vital being in the waterfall?
Oh,
hey!
Man.
There we go!
Magic mirror on the pedestal seed. Hey, man.
Gotta
It's
get
always-
I had to get something right one of these days.
Nice. So having that earlier than later is always really nice. It's nice too that he it was the mirror indeed. Well, this will allow him to get the flippers too. It also gives him an easier way to do Hera opposed to walking all the way around also.
Yep. The mirror. Okay, that mirror just broke the scene wide open because that'll give them access to Tower of Hera really quickly. They can get the flippers and loop back to Waterfall.
Yeah, that puts Ice Palace 100% and Logic as well. Swamp Palace as well. And yeah, the only thing we're missing are, well, we're missing Ether Medallion and 2 rods.
Yep.
Yeah, and this play doesn't really surprise me. It seems really like not that bad of an option considering what you have left. SuperNinTaylor is going to be sequence breaking those flippers, which is, you know, locked by the pedestal on the, which was the mirror, which locked the flippers on the floating island. And some bombs require the hammer. Have you been checking all these hammer lock spots? Have we found any bombs? Ooh.
Ooh, something is sitting in the pyramidary spot.
That's a unique item. That's really big information, I think.
Yep. But it could be something. It could be something worthless like the mushroom. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be the mushroom. It could be, you know, shovel or powder, stuff that you don't need. Maybe, I guess that last boomerang would count too. We're still going to need that fire rod too if we're going to make a play on that Great Fairy also. A unique item is in Mini Moldrum Cave, and judging by all the garbage that we found there, I guess that is a duplicate hidden for the boots. Oh wait, no, that was the flute. I'm just kidding.
I don't know about this play in the Ice Palace right now. I think if it were me, I would have dipped to Waterfall first and then looped back to Ice Palace.
You know, I think that is actually really smart, considering what he has. You're 1000% right. He's really done a fantastic job this seed to make sure he just isolates that area, even though he could have checked it multiple times by taking the long walk to Zora, and then also, you know, just not even going in there to get a water walk state to do it just right before ice, you know, those 2 extra items in there.
And the way it's shaping up, that's probably something required. It could have been the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very highly likely that we have some... Okay, I'm a little confused here. I think Hitsuyan might have... Did he find Ether in Hera and I missed it?
We're gonna find out.
I guess he's coming all the way over here because he wants to check checkerboard.
That seems to be it, yeah. It's a very interesting play.
I mean, I guess if anything, he was trying to see if he could go ahead and pick up a quick fire rod or ice rod or something before he went over to get his flippers, because he might be considering going into Turtle Rock while he's up there, which doesn't seem like a bad play. So I guess he might be hoping he could pick up maybe a rod or 2 before he makes that play to get the flippers. Okay. So he can check Bombo's tablet here and K45.
Stumpy too.
I think we would have already seen Stumpy. And in case he accidentally thought that he already had the flippers, you know, just because you're like, I just need the mirror to get the flippers, sometimes your brain can kind of connect that, like, I still have to go get them, and you forget that. But he would have known they're trying to jump into the water, and Link wasn't having it. There's also the option that he doesn't know that the flippers are on the floating island, too. That's going to be a mystery. I'm a little surprised he didn't go ahead and grab them, but again, if you find rods over here, makes it even more efficient whenever you go up there because you could finish Turtle Rock.
Yeah. But that wasn't the case on a Bombos tablet. Chat suggesting that maybe Hitsu didn't recognize the flippers on Floating Island as the flippers. That would be a reason he's not immediately beelining for them.
It's a possibility. I think I'm a little confused by this. I'm not sure. I mean, we didn't see the flippers on his side either, but chat says they did, so... As much as I'd hate to trust them. Doesn't look like we've seen anything good in Ice Palace either.
Maybe the big chest has our hopes and dreams in it.
Well, if that's the price you put on your hopes and dreams, I would like to, you know, suggest you up the ante a little bit. That was just a big 50 over there in the big chest. We will get to see something we haven't seen yet. Hammer Pegs was not checked because SuperNinTaylor did the frog and the purple chest before you had the hammer. And just a big 20. And on the other end, we do have a green male cold stare fight. He does have plenty of hearts and tempered sword, but if it gets out of hand, you can die really fast. Cold stare hits like a truck. But that was an excellent fight.
That
right
was
there.
excellent. Beautiful fight.
So there's another crystal for S&T. And that is a 5/6 crystal, and we do have the knowledge of knowing that there is a mystery unique item on the Pyramid Fairy.
But we're still waiting on the Skull Woods crystal to access it, which means we need Fire Rod, which means, well, who knows where it is now. I'm gonna guess, based on what we have, that first SHT is gonna dead rock himself, and then the Fire Rod is gonna be in the waterfall.
Oh man. So being corrected here on our my hint nomenclature, the Great Fairy could also suggest it is the Waterfall Fairy also. I forgot that that's a thing.
Actually, yeah, that's right. I haven't seen the Great Fairy actually pop up yet in so long. I honestly forgot it was there.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Those hints being so darn confusing. Wow, I mean, you've been talking about that Waterfall Fairy so much. Even I'm starting to get convinced that it has something, so that could be a very pivotal mistake that SuperNinTaylor elected not to check that twice. And just going to be losing a little bit of time here, not getting that mirror from the pedestal and taking the long way over here to Hera.
Yep.
But he will be getting another crystal, and I mean, he is slowly chipping away. He's all but catching up here. I mean, he's got a full Ice Palace clear. Hera's a quick dungeon. The only thing else would just be, you know, finishing up Helmasaur, which is really important because that's going to lead to your mirror, which leads to your flippers. And Hitsuyan is in Village of Outcast right now. I think we might be seeing what's in that Thieves Town big chest.
Yep, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And if he's checking the Thieves Town big chest before he goes to get the flippers, which give him full logical access to 2 dungeons, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he doesn't know that they're up there.
Oh, this seed has just been playing with everybody's emotions.
Wow, this is really unfortunate. I don't know what's been in the air lately, but yeah, locations have been been missed or forgotten. Oh, I mean, this could be really beneficial. If there's an ice rod in here, this is huge. This could be like the greatest accidental mistake that you could have ever had. If there's nothing in here, it's going to be time loss and also going to be leading to some head scratching later.
I mean, the ice rod by itself at this stage in the game doesn't open very much. The fire rod, however, is going to open Skull Woods up.
Yeah, exactly, but if he finds the ice rod in here and then remembers where the flippers are, this will save him a lot of clearing later because he went to the troll first before, you know, having the whole world open to him.
Moment of truth. Oh.
Just a piece of heart. So, very unlikely we'll see SuperNinTaylor double backing for that. Well, this is a way for SuperNinTaylor to catch up if indeed he doesn't know that those flippers are there. I'm not sure if we saw a Hera basement from Hitsuyan either. And Hitsuyan is on his way up to Death Mountain, so perhaps he is getting his flippers.
Maybe. We'll see.
He has Spike Cave left that he could do. He could be thinking that that's an option as well. He hasn't checked Zora either. So, yeah, these are the checks that SuperNinTaylor has already done that Hitsuyan is double backing on. But if he's mirroring here, then it's either that or he's going into Turtle Rock. And if he's going into Turtle Rock, that's great for him because he's going to walk right past those flippers. He's also going to come to Hera Basement, too. Wow, that was okay. It was really aggressive for him to go back to that big chest then.
I wonder if he was just desperately trying to find something that he missed. And that's why he... Oh! Or I could have lied and the fire rod's here.
That's a fire rod hanging out in Hera Basement.
In the Hera Basement.
Classic. Locked by your one fire source. Oh man, if SuperNinTaylor, well, it doesn't matter because the freaking mirror's on the pedestal. You can't do Skull Woods and mirror to pull the pedestal when the mirror's on the pedestal. Oh, that's so annoying.
It makes it kind of hard. But chat saying that this might send Hitsuyan away from Death Mountain unless he remembers the flippers.
Well, again, Hitsuyan is running out of things that he can do, but some things that he can do, again, is check some chests into Turtle Rock, and he's going to have to do that eventually before, you know, he just sits around and is stuck. So he's going to have another opportunity where he dashes past those flippers, and that's really good for him.
Yep. And the Fire Rod does make Turtle Rock a more attractive play because of the two chests that it opens, and it looks like indeed... No, he pulled the flute out, he's leaving.
Oh, he's going to go ahead and finish up Skull Woods. That's a no-brainer play.
It's an okay play, I guess, but what do you do now?
I mean, finish Skull Woods, and again, after that, it's not like the Fire Rod unlocked too much else for him. Yeah, go ahead and make a play into Turtle Rock, and to be honest, that play doesn't look that bad at this point. Yeah, I think that Fire Rod was really good for him, because I feel like if he didn't have that, he might really be postponing his trip up to Death Mountain, if indeed he didn't know about him, which it really seems to be the case.
It was a beautiful Mothula fight, though.
Oh, always giving you the big key. Just want you to go back and forth and back and forth. That last item might be hanging out in the back here, though, so maybe he doesn't need to, you know, double all the way back down just to check the big chest. Yep, so Fat Fairy is unlocked for SuperNinTaylor. He can definitely go ahead and do that. Man, it would be even more slick. Go ahead and do Fat Fairy, and then after you're done with that, just go dash over to Pod and finish that. Oh, never easy. So the last item in Skull Woods is indeed hanging out in that big chest. I want you to open them all today. Clean fight there from Hitsuyan as well. And it's going to be a lot faster for him to check this last chest in case he wants to, because he has the mirror that's on the pedestal.
Yep. So he's going to check the little chest and the mirror back out instead of having to walk all the way out. So.
Oh boy, man, this is really interesting. I'm really trying to wrap my head of the possibilities, determine who's ahead and who's not.
I mean, by crystal count, SuperNinTaylor looks like he's ahead, but Hitsuyan has a mirror, which we know is necessary for progression. So it's I actually can't tell who's ahead.
Be dashing down here, I guess, to do hammer pegs. We'll see if he is so bold to make the play on the Thieves Town big chest too. It wouldn't surprise me if you're gonna do this one. You usually combo them both together.
Yeah, Thieves Town big chest is a really aggressive play, but I honestly am not sure what if Hitsuyan simply didn't see the flippers or didn't recognize them, because there have been like multiple opportunities where it's been a really good idea to go out there. Hopefully that's what he's doing right now. He was waiting to combo it with TR, and it looks like the solution. But if he is going around the side of this mountain, ooh, is he gonna see?
He's gonna see him because he's going into Turtle Rock right now. I mean, it's literally gonna be a big giant like just Las Vegas neon sign. Hey, the flippers are over here. It's not gonna be any more clear than it ever is because he has nowhere else to go.
Yeah, but I mean the flippers are going to be slightly to the left of Turtle Rock's entrance.
Nah, you get to see them like super clear. It would have been really funny if he had elected to like climb in the Dark World. That would have been really silly because it's just slower altogether. But I mean, like, yeah,
oh, yeah, you're right. And there he is.
Oh, yeah, they were there. Well, that's convenient. Yeah. Yeah, when you go all the way up like that, they become very clear on screen.
I was a little confused on how the climb works. It's been ages since I've actually played this game vanilla.
He even slashed a little bit there, like, gosh darn it.
Yep.
Because he had either mismarked those as bombs or didn't catch it the first time. That was definitely a mistake by him, gauging his reaction.
Yeah. And so you know that's what he's going to do right now before he dips TR.
Yeah, interesting. It makes me wonder if he is going to go ahead and completely finish Ice Palace and Swamp Palace before he goes into Turtle Rock. I figure if you wanted to go into Turtle Rock, you might as well just do it now. Because those flippers, I mean, you can go get those afterwards. Well, actually, you know what? This is smart. I take it back. Because if he mirrors afterwards, then he's not going to be at a good spot to exit Turtle Rock. So, he's smart. This was a better play.
And then I imagine he's going to go close the loop with the waterfall at some point.
Ooh, all right.
Oh, he is not happy.
Oh, man. That poor Techite didn't need to die for the flipper's frustration. That was not nice. What a bully. And he is going into Turtle Rock. Oh, all right.
Oh God! Oh, the disrespect!
Alright, that one actually broke me a little bit. That was a very, very conveniently timed hit. Oh my god.
I'm done. I'm done with
Wow.
this team.
Vince, oh my god. The game couldn't have done anything else for you, Hitsuyan. They gave you a hint, letting you know where they were. They put them in clear view. I don't know what more else you want. Good lord, I couldn't have planned that any better.
Whew. Alright, let's see what that fire rod has earned us here. It's earned Hitsuyan forgetting that the Cannon Burner does not actually make you invulnerable.
Yeah, it's fun little wrinkle when you think you're doing things a certain way. Well, that fire rod seems like it was really important to allow us to progress further into Turtle Rock. Ooh, she's gonna be checking the first 3 chests. It was all keys, so he got a small key and 2 big keys. He's gonna, I guess, go ahead and dip out. Doesn't seem like a bad play. He does have the knowledge that there is a unique item on the Pyramid Fairy, and he can finish Ice Palace, which will give him access to that. Oh, and SuperNinTaylor is going to be showing us if what we need is actually on that Pyramid Fairy, because that is his next play here.
Oh, I was maybe possibly wrong about there being something important in Waterfall.
I missed what it was, and I should have.
It was a piece of heart and the magic powder. The magic powder might link to something we don't know.
Yeah, and that could be very well the unique item too, because again, I keep double forgetting that both the Pyramid Fairies count. Oh, you wanna know something really funny? Wow, nice bomb skip by SuperNinTaylor there. If you time that perfectly, make sure you transition when the counter is at 0, the bomb magically comes back to you instead of it exploding, so that's how you can do that, save a little bit of time.
Yep. Pretty handy too.
And yeah, that unique item we were referring to was indeed the one on the
waterfall. Yep.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, there was a hint that said there was a heart on the great fish. Hitsuyan hasn't checked Catfish yet. He's checked Zora. It's gonna work out for him because they both actually have a heart container, so... Well, actually, he might think that Catfish actually has something else because Zora had a heart container, but the thing is, the hint refers to both hints and they both have the same item.
Yep, the hint is with the fishes, which logically refers to either Catfish or Zora himself.
SuperNinTaylor has ran out of options. He is making his way up here. He will be getting his mirror, which is going to lead to his flippers. And he will still have to make the journey all the way back up to Death Mountain to get those flippers. That's gonna, you know, cost him some time here.
Just a little bit.
But it will also give him the option to do more at Turtle Rock than Hitsuyan did. And if, again, you find an Ice Rod in there, if you find the Ether Medallion, which leads to the Ice Rod and Mire, that would be a huge swing for this race. You could easily see SuperNinTaylor, you know, catching back up and just outright winning the race with that sequence.
Yep. The Ice Rod... I think the best situation for SuperNinTaylor right now would be Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, Ether on Trinex, or Ether somewhere else on Turtle Rock, which leads to pretty much a go mode Meyer at this point.
It would be go mode Mire and go mode Swamp. That would be huge for him. But again, it's a very interesting gamble you have to make at this point. He knows that when he gets these flippers, he gets 6 items in Swamp. And then, you know, the extra 2 items from the Waterfall Fairy, if he wants to check that as well.
And I mean, we still don't know what's on the Magic Bat. It could have something important.
Yeah, there's that too. And I mean, even if he doesn't want to do that, if he goes right to Swamp Palace, he's just going to be right behind Hitsuyan, but Hitsuyan still has to do Ice Palace. Fluting away, so he's probably not going to go ahead and take the risk that the Ice Rod or anything leading to it is going to be in Turtle Rock. Might as well clear this dungeon out first.
Yep. That might end up being a good play, or it might end up costing him. It really depends on what's buried deeper in Turtle Rock that we couldn't see on Hitsu.
God, I mean, at this point, they really look like they're neck to neck to me. Hitsuyan went out of his way to do some of the other checks that SuperNinTaylor had. This seems to have really evened up. I mean, they're both a dungeon different. Both these dungeons are relatively long to do. Oh, hey, there's the 1 mail upgrade you'll get. So Banana Hat hanging out here.
I mean, a go mode Swamp is actually a pretty fast dungeon, and if you bypass those 2 chests that Hitsuyan just picked up, it can actually be relatively rapid.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be seeing a go mode Swamp from either of them. I hadn't been paying attention to the dungeon items in the pool here just to see how many items we have on the left side Swamp. I'll have to be quick and check his menu when he menus the Fire Rod here. Not going for the 0 cycle, that's fine, it's too hard. I don't blame you. Really not getting too many puffs though on the first cycle here.
Nope.
So he has the compass right now.
Nice
kill on
phase 2
phase 2
kill.
though. And there's our big key. So there's 2 items left in the 3 chests left in the dungeon.
Do you go back for it though is the question.
It's a tough call. Seems like a little bit of an easier play for SuperNinTaylor. I feel like he has a little bit less to check, so he might be a little bit more interested in it. Hitsuyan, he still has all of Ice Palace and then Pyramid Fairy in the back of his mind. And Hitsuyan could be just taking this all the way to the big chest and leaving. I imagine if you get just, you know, your map or something here, you'll be like, well, let me go get both the guaranteed items on the left side. But if you get an item here, then you know it's only 1 item, and then, you know, what do you do then? And the answer is mirror out, and hopefully it doesn't wreck your race.
This entire seed's been race wrecking, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been all right. I would say this was a nice seed because it was an all dungeon seed. If this was not an all dungeon seed, you were hating life because it forced you to do AGA 1 to get your hammer so you could, you know, go get all the pendants to get your mirror. That's not nice.
This seed would have been absolutely abysmal in a defeat Ganon seed.
Felt like it just made you, you know, make all the decisions you never wanted to do.
Datamancer making a good point. The Hitsu's experience with the flippers has probably put him a little bit on tilt, even though he's really not behind at all. It's really difficult to say. They're just about even in terms of dungeons, Hitsu has to complete Ice Palace, SuperNinTaylor has to complete Swamp, and then they're back in parity. They're both still looking for Ether. It's really close.
Someone had mentioned something about a shovel. Was that a shovel on the island? SuperNinTaylor's going for the quick kill here.
It looks like we did spot the shovel. Chat's talking about it.
Where was it? I missed it.
I missed it too. I was too busy stressing out about the seed. Lake Highland Island, it looks like.
Well, that is very interesting. And yeah, getting an audio switch here. I think it is duly timed. I would say that SuperNinTaylor has pulled just a little bit ahead here in this race.
Yep, it's certainly not insurmountable lead, but it's noticeable.
Alright, well, SuperNinTaylor electing to go back in, get these remaining 2 chests. We'll see if he decides to go do left side. I would imagine both of them are kind of feeling a little iffy on their route. He was thinking about it, and yeah, he's going to go all the way to left side to check that one chest. If this is an Ice Rod, if this is Ether, going to be a very big play in this game. If it's not, that's just more time Hitsuyan's going to save. Oh yeah, someone was mentioning a hobo check too. That is something else we have not checked.
Oh no, we haven't seen that, have we? Oh lordy. Ice Rod and Dig Spot would be a pretty great meme.
Just put Ether and Ice Rod and Turtle Rock. The don't you know this is V30 package?
Man.
Alright, we really know that there's nothing of importance in Ice Palace, and we know that even opening up the big bomb's not going to get you anything either, except for, I think it was like some arrows and rupees. Something useless, for sure. Now, because SuperNinTaylor did have his mirror a little bit later than Hitsuyan, he hasn't done any of those checks. That is Ether and left side swamp. What a play! He's so excited.
Oh, the Galaxy Brain play.
Okay, I thought he was going to get his...
Oh, man.
Well...
That... Whew.
Oh, boy. That is... gonna open up some interesting opportunities there. SuperNinTaylor looks like to be setting up some spooky action glitch here with how he entered that Mire portal.
Let's see if we can pull it off. But, we might get the bird toss, too.
That bird's staying there forever.
Staying there for... Okay.
I don't know, maybe. Bye, bird.
Yep. Bye. Later.
That's 2017 meme. New uncharted territory here in Mire and SuperNinTaylor. Hitsuyan is falling into Cold Stare fight. He's got his bombos equipped. Making sure to play it safe. I don't think they found any magic potions or anything like that. He did use a spin to get it in the corner, but it was just a pinch too late, so allowed these puffs to escape, but no worries, the fire rod still melts them just as good. Alright, we are back, tied on crystals, but SuperNinTaylor, his due diligence is going to pay off because he went all the way back to left side swamp to get that one item, and it was indeed a required medallion. And now all we have is that silly hunt for the ice rod, but man, we all know based on just, their collection of checks, you could have something from the shovel spot, we could have something on powder, or it could be in Turtle Rock. I really don't know where else that might be though.
Really the only places that make sense for the ice rod to be are buried in Turtle Rock or in the dig spot. That's really the only two places it could be.
You don't like the magic bat?
Oh yeah, the magic bat still exists. It hasn't been checked yet.
I hope it's there, because that was the powder that we got from the pyramid.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, from the, not pyramid, the waterfall. And you've been talking about that so much, I hope it's there. Hitsuyan showing off a little bit. If you get hit and then set up a dash at the right time, you can actually, it'll dash with the bomb and it'll follow you around.
Just a little bit of this game being pretty broken.
Broken in all the right ways.
Ice Rod on Hobo would also be an evil play.
Yeah, this is a little tough for Hitsuyan now. It's not too many locations left that I would say that would give him a really clear advantage. I would say maybe the Ice Rod and Turtle Rock would be the best case scenario for him, but I don't know. That's rough when you skip left side swamp, because it's just a tough one to go back to. A nice spooky from SuperNinTaylor. He's got one more here to make it perfect. And he nails it. Getting that last one's actually really tricky. You gotta make sure you get up there faster than the anti-fairy, or else it's gonna mess up for you.
Anti-fairy RNG is kind of a pain.
Going ahead and playing this safe. Just gonna use his blue potion here to finish up the last half of these eyeballs. And Hobo just had bombs, so that's not gonna be our ice rod, but we're about to see what's on that shovel. And that is our 6th crystal. He's got all 3 pendants. He's already killed Aga 1. We just need Aga 2. We need that 3-headed dog. And then we just got to kill the pig. But we are missing that ice rod. It looks to be hot on his way to Turtle Rock. Man, and with what we know, this seems like the right play. Because I'm pretty sure... Oh man, I don't know if he checked all the items in Meyer. Oof. Should have been paying attention.
That's what we get for trying to watch 2 runners at once, huh?
A magic bat here. This is another hot location. The ice rod has a good chance of being here too. We have no idea. Oh boy.
And it's just bombs. Where is that ice rod hanging out?
I think it's in the classic V30 spot. I think SuperNinTaylor is making the correct play here by going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah. I mean, real, like, peak V30 would have it on the laser bridge, so let's see if it's on the laser bridge, huh?
There's a great chance. We definitely know it's not going to be in the first 3 because that was 2 small keys and a big key. Yeah, I don't... unless it was in Meyer, looks like it was mentioned that there was a hit in Meyer that suggested that there was a heart piece on the left side. And he cleared everything else out except for the left side, so that would be all the items in Meyer. I think it has to be in here. The only exception would be if it's mushroom to ice rod. Outside of that, it would have to be here in Turtle Rock, unless we've both forgotten something, which
Even
probably
this seed is
possible as well.
entirely possible.
I do believe we've already seen Catfish. We've seen K45. SuperNinTaylor checked Catfish. I don't think Hitsuyan checked Catfish. But
No,
Hitsuyan
but we've
did check
definitely seen both of
K45.
them.
And even though Hitsuyan got here a little bit later than SuperNinTaylor, he gets to go ahead and breeze ahead because he came in and grabbed the first 3 chests and left. But it's going to be really unfortunate for him when he most likely finds his ice rod here, but not his ether, because, you know, then what do? He really doesn't have that much left either.
No.
Man, I think Catfish, and Left Side Swamp, that's really awful.
Left Side Swamp for Ether is just a horrible, nasty turn of events.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate how it worked out for him. I'm pretty sure if he would have gotten the map in the big chest, he would have checked Left Side Swamp because it would have been 2 items opposed to 1.
Yeah.
But since he got the bombs, he was just kind of like, why would I go all the way over there for 1 item? Well,
The density play wasn't with Left Side after finding that.
and he just had a little bit more, you know, available at the time that looked like better plays. Ice Palace and Pyramid Fairy and all that looked a little bit nicer.
Yes, checkerboard cave was checked. It had junk.
All right, will it be in Mimic Cave?
It could be in Mimic Cave. That'd be not quite as evil as Laser Bridge. So obviously it's gonna be on Laser Bridge.
I don't know, man. If it's in Turtle Rock, it's all the same. It doesn't matter if it's the first chest or the last chest. It's all the same.
Nice sink, and then the sink's immediately broken.
Strange little hedge here. If you find, you know, the item that you're looking for in the Turtle Rock Big Chest, that saves you the time from doing Mimic Cave. So you could save an extra, what, 3 or 4 screen transitions at the cost of 1 screen transition. You know, just little tiny gambles here and there you can make to, you know, try and save as much time as you can.
No, SCT did not full clear Meyer because he knew that the Firelock chests were junk.
Alright, well here's, you know, what we like to play while we're doing these randomizer runs. Chest 1 through 4 on Hitsuyan's side. Which one is going to have the ice rod / mushroom? To our better knowledge. How many guessing games do you think I can get in this seed? I think this is like 2 so far.
Yeah, and you have like 1 more for the big key?
Oh, sorry, it's not chest number 1. It's not going to be chest number 2, unfortunately. It's not going to be chest number 3.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. I really hope it's here, because I'm not ready to scratch my brain at the possibilities. Hey, chest number 4!
There we go. And with SuperNinTaylor coming right up on the ice rod, that means that he's going to be able to immediately turn and dive all the way back to Trinex.
Oh, a guessing number for guessing games. Good lord.
Oh man.
So he is 2 chests away
From entering go mode.
and at 1 hour, 50 minutes, 30 seconds, and no chest left in the game in any dungeon except for Trinex. SuperNinTaylor is our first runner in go mode. And because he has cleared every dungeon, he has killed Aga Tower. It's going to be a traditional finish, even though this is an all-dungeon seed. All he's going to have to do is finish Trinex here, go kill Aga 2 at the top of Ganon's Tower, and he will be able to go ahead and fight Ganon.
Yep. And it's going to be a quick fight for somebody with tempers and silvers.
Yeah, finally get to, put those silvers to good use after holding on to them this whole entire time.
Yeah, we only had them at, like, what, the 20, 30-minute mark?
Yeah, we've had them for quite a while. All right, well, I guess we could do that other guessing game. Any number between 1 and 22 will have a big key that allows us to go upstairs and the Ganon's Tower big chest. How do you... I'm not familiar with the commands.
That's a very good question. I don't know if we can. Oh, wait.
Go ahead and get your guesses in because...
Bill McD has us covered.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll be cutting this off as soon as
Action Boker, you have us covered. Thank you.
You got about 5 more seconds to get your guesses in, then you're cut off. Alright, and where is Hitsuyan gonna go? And that's chest number 1, just a small key. Chest number 2, $300.
Oh.
He's on his way back.
Looks like he's going back in the swamp, gonna dip left.
Yeah.
It's basically the only place he has left, so it's really the only play he has available.
Yeah, so oddly enough, not finding the mirror, because he just elected not to prioritize the pedestal, that saved a lot of time for SuperNinTaylor because he didn't have to go and do all those one-off mirror checks. One of the rare situations where the mirror actually works out for you. Hey, there's our mushroom. Hey, there's one of our 2 shields, and that was chest number 6 for the big key guessing game.
And now it's gonna just be a straight shot up the tower. No funny business.
But again, this is hard mode. He's got blue mail. I'm not sure if he has any potions left. Even if you had the powder, you're not going to be powdering any anti-fairies and stuff like that and getting a fairy. Unfortunately, in hard mode, the only thing they give you is just a single heart, so you do have to be a little bit careful with your health here. It can get away from you.
He can get away from you real quick.
But he does have a sizable lead with doing his due diligence and getting that ether over in the left side swamp, because after this, Hitsuyan is going to have to go finish Meyer. I think the big key was in the middle chest, but yeah, he's definitely a few minutes behind at this point.
Yep. It's not insurmountable, but it's SuperNinTaylor's race to lose at this point.
And he's having a clean gauntlet so far. Oh, dashing into that BMOS. Making it a little rough. That's Zazek being a little nice and staying put, though. That BMOS always gets you there.
Yeah.
I hate that one.
Ooh. Nice little area of effect juke on that fire rod shot to kill the Stalfos.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Usually when you cast that one at that spot, it almost always gets him. But again, we were talking about health. His health is looking a little low here. Not really too many opportunities to get it refilled.
Oh.
Yeah, we're at a hard and a half here. There's Ether for Hitsuyan.
Putting a clench in, and there's Hitsu's Ether, so now he's in go mode at 1 hour 56.
SuperNinTaylor elected to pick up the magic there, probably because he needed it to do smarter for these quick kills. And he's got 2 blues in the bank, so you know what? I was trying to build it up, but he ruined my climax there. That wasn't good. So having that extra potion, that makes this tower and Ganon fight really safe for him. Blue Mel, Ganon's tower, or Ganon's not going to do 8 hearts of damage if you hog him, but still pretty freaking close. But SuperNinTaylor is very experienced at this game. He's been doing this a while. This is definitely his race to lose. Not enough magic for the fire rod shot there.
Barely enough to light the torch with the, or light the lamp with the torch.
Yeah, you can squeeze in there just enough to hit that torch across the gap, just in case you run out of magic. We haven't seen any of this. SuperNinTaylor is more than capable of hovering. We will see if he's going to show that off for us today.
Doesn't look like it, nope.
Oldorm 2 didn't have to die, but maybe next time.
Clutch refill.
Even better, don't even have to use the potion. Oh man, so perfectly timed. This looks like a good setup for a triple there. Hopefully those 2 counted. They look like they came at the same time. He's definitely got 4 in those so far, maybe 5.
That was 4 then.
So
that was clean.
Yep, that was the best he could have done with that, pretty much. So good 3-cycle Agatu, always feels good. Now he just has to finish this off with a clean Ganon, and he will be winning this group match. His pick against Hitsuyan, this will also be his first win in the groups as well, and that's probably going to feel really good also.
Yep, he came into this match with a record of 0-2 in the group stage. So this is going to put him on the board as far as points.
Oh, that was unfortunate. It looked like his sword hit the torch instead of Ganon, so
Ooh.
not getting the 1-1 here. He's got magic to spare. He's also got silvers too, so he can, yeah, use a little of this magic, be a little bit more aggressive. Ganon fight's really weird when you get thrown off your 1-1 cycle because you're not used to fighting him in that way.
Yep. Oh, he's teleport happy today.
He just doesn't want it to end.
No?
Ganon says, "You will absolutely not sub to this seed. I refuse."
We did find the arrows in Hype Cave. Hitsuyan about to enter his Vitreous fight. And SuperNinTaylor puts the final arrow in the big pig.
And finished with an official SRL time of first place with a time of 2 hours flat and 42 seconds. So GG to him. And I believe
Hitsuyan taking an unfortunate death.
I think he was giving SuperNinTaylor a little bit of congratulations in the IRC, and then
Yep, and it does look like we are going to have a dot forfeit from Hitsuyan at this time. But that was an incredibly hard-fought race between the two of these runners.
Yeah, it definitely was back and forth. Super exciting to watch. It was really hard to tell who was in the lead at any given moment just because, you know, the divergence of the items. But that left side swamp play was definitely what sealed the deal for SuperNinTaylor.
And it looks like we have SuperNinTaylor here in the setup room. Let's see if we can pull him in. SuperNinTaylor, GG, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG, man. How'd you feel about that lovely seed?
Oh man, I was going into it, I was like, is this really going to be the third seed in a row where I have to traverse across Hyrule without the hammer? Like, I've already had 2 seeds where it was a late hammer, and the third one was like, oh my god, just stop. I honestly, like, I'm the worst when it comes to routing without the hammer. So I was kind of nervous it was going to wreck me again.
And we also have Hitsuyan joining us. GG Hitsuyan.
GG's.
That Ether in left side swamp. How about that one?
That was my last item, but I think the other thing that I missed was the flippers.
Yeah.
I thought they swapped bombs like the chat, and yeah, I skipped that. And then was my last location T-Walk, and on the way to it I saw flippers.
Yeah,
and after this I gambled.
It's amazing how you decide to gamble one chest in the whole entire game, and it's the one item you need. It's strange how the randomizer knows how to make that work every time.
And that was an easy one to skip to, the left side swamp, because there was only one item on the left, if you're not including the big chest.
Yeah, it made
so
perfect
I could
sense.
See it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were theory crafting it a little bit, and SuperNinTaylor not picking up the first chest to see bombs made the left side dip more attractive for him because he knew, or he thought there could be possibly 2 items there instead of 1.
Right. Yeah. Actually, when I went back into Swamp, I thought I remembered getting both map and compass. I was like, oh, there's 3 items. 2 items on the left, 1 on the big chest. And I got there, I was like, wait, I don't have the map.
Yeah, I thought you were so excited to find Ether that you were going to go get your map also.
Yeah. I'm glad I went back in there. I mean, even if I knew there was only 2 items, including the big chest, I probably still would have went in. I'm a little nervous about skipping things. I mean, unless it's unintentional.
I'm okay. Next time. Yeah, I opened only the big chest and for 1 item.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad gamble, it makes sense. Especially if you have a bunch of other locations to check.
Yeah, but after the missed flippers, I skipped it. Left side swamp.
You were actually still in really good shape, even with the not getting the flippers when you did, or not knowing that they were there. And yeah, I mean, again, the only thing that they had locked was that Ether medallion. So
I think the one big mistake I made this race was I fluted to 8, thinking I had the flippers. And when I got there, because I remember seeing the flippers, and I guess I just got it in my head that I had the flippers. I flitted to 8 to do Ice Palace. I was like, wait, I don't have the flippers. This isn't in logic yet. And then I was like, I'm already here. Just do it. I was like,
Well,
I was trying to think of the bright side. I was like, maybe at least if I find a progression item here, I can narrow down where the mirror is. Plus, there's 3 hints in there. So I tried to think of the positive of being there, but I think that was actually the wrong move for me to go to Ice Palace when I did.
Oh, I thought it was a great play, to be honest.
Did you?
Like, with all things considered, yeah, man, that made a lot of sense. There was even a hint that, you know, there was a unique item on the Great Fairy, which, to, you know, my knowledge today, is also including the Waterfall Fairy. You missed a couple of really good opportunities to check that, I guess, out of logic. That one bothered me a little bit.
I was positive that something important was going to be hiding in a waterfall cave.
Yeah, when I went to Catfish that one time, I was like, wait, I could have just like fake flippered or something.
Yeah, you walked to Zora.
Yeah. Or,
One of us found the hookshot first.
Yes. Yeah, SuperNinTaylor did. I think you did literally everything that you could have done before you did Aga.
Yeah, I did. I was almost gonna go to Aga. I was like, you know what, just check. What was it? Was it Aga not the last thing I checked? I know there's like one more one-off location. I was like, just check it just in case. Doesn't lose that much time.
Yeah, I think it was like Purple Chest or something. Yeah, you did like Purple
maybe
Chest to
yeah.
Agina, and then you did Aga. That's right.
I was pretty sure it was Aga, but I was like, just check everything, make sure. But yeah, I was screaming Aga for sure.
Yeah, and it turns out that Aga was needed for
Bombos?
East and access to East Death
Oh right, yeah.
or East Dark World.
Yeah, that was the main thing. Well, I guess they're both the main things.
Yeah. And part of the dungeon goal. Like, this would have been an awful, you know, not all dungeon seed, because you had to do everything anyways, but all dungeon, you know, who can complain, right?
Yeah, no kidding, that would have been terrible. Aga seed, pedestal seed. Or wait, is it a pedestal seed? I don't know.
It most certainly was. With that mirror
on there
being
again? Oh yeah, the mirror. I'm already forgetting what happened.
The next seed can be fun too.
Oh
Yeah,
the next one's gonna be really fun.
Are you doing Key's Sanity next time? Is that the difference?
No, it's some kind of inverted. I can't remember exactly what it is.
Oh.
Normal inverted.
Normal inverted?
Random spots.
Oh yeah, sounds fun.
Fantastic. Well.
I think that's probably gonna be starting somewhat soon.
Oh yeah, you guys are playing back to back. Good lord.
Yeah.
Starting in just 30
I
minutes.
forgot.
So good luck to you guys. It's gonna be, defeat Ganon, inverted, randomized,
Be there or not.
or don't be there. Why?
Yeah.
We're not your parents.
I should know this information. You guys got restreamed too, correct?
Yep.
What channel are you guys
on
going to be
the
on?
same channel.
The
This
same
one.
channel, actually. So
If anybody leaves from watching this, don't do it. You'll be on my naughty list. Everyone stay here. We've got another awesome race. Hitsuyan is going to try to get his revenge. SuperNinTaylor is going to try to, you know, continue on a streak. Keep stacking some wins in these groups. Nobody move.
I'm on a winning streak.
Yeah. Dang,
Try
awesome.
to break it now.
and we're gonna have two really great commentators for you. We're gonna have Dante and Korek slipping into the booth here.
Oh, Dante's awesome. I don't know about that Korek guy, though. Dang, awesome. You guys want to add anything else on this seed? I don't want to keep you guys too long here if you need to prepare, like, I don't know, maybe use the bathroom or get a drink of water or do any of those human needs, since you're going to be sitting here playing rando for quite a while.
Not much left to say about the seed, but thanks for commentating.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Oh, thanks for the awesome race. The back and forth was really interesting. It was fun.
Oh yeah, one thing I finished, and then not too long after I saw the race ended. I was so hoping that was a dot done, but I felt so bad when it was a forfeit. I was like, oh my god, this was an epic race, because I thought he just finished right after me. When I saw the forfeit, I was like, oh no. I was hoping it was a close one.
It was
Yeah.
actually very close. I would say you were actually behind up until
Yeah.
Ether, but
Yeah,
already
it
It's
was
debatable.
really for a while there. We couldn't figure out who was actually ahead, but then Ether happened and you just ran away with it.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I'm glad I won, but it's unfortunate.
there's nothing wrong with that. You hear that hits you? Let that fuel you for the next one, man.
All right, so I guess
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I'm
go get ready
feeling
for
good.
my next race.
To win the next race.
Yeah. Just hope for progression in Chicken
I
Hut.
have
That's
to.
your best guess.
We saw you drop that bomb in the chest, and we were like, "Oh, I have no idea what this could be referring to."
I skipped nothing the next game.
Well, awesome, guys. Good luck, man. I'll be watching.
Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Have a good one. I think that about wraps it up here for us, Zach.
Yeah, we got the next race coming in half an hour, so yeah, nobody move. Stay tuned watching that. We got a brand new, fresh commentator, so if you guys are tired of listening to us, that's even more of a bonus, but yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Zach the Boker.
I'm Claymore729. Thanks for co-commentating with me.
That was a pleasure, man. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good one, guys.